Okay, we are good. We are live. Hello, everyone. How you doing? Isn't it nice when you just push the button and everything just lights up in green and there is no issues? I love it when that happens. So it's Wednesday again. Welcome to another live stream where we continue to work on our learning management system using Laravel, Livewire, and Filament. Today, we have a bit of an agenda. I'm hoping we don't have any issues. I'm dreading the part where we don't need to, but I would like to bring in Laravel Breeze because I need authentication. And instead of me building it out on my own using Livewire components, I would much rather just install Breeze and everything works. And it should. But the part that I'm dreading is I'm pretty sure if you install Breeze on an existing project, and moreover an existing project that we have worked on for this long, it's going to be a little bit destructive because it's going to modify, not just create a bunch of files, but also modify a bunch of files that I'm thinking that it's going to disrupt the project, but I have a plan. Famous last words. So let me show you what we have for today. Not first, but part of the things that I want to do today is install Laravel Breeze. Because of the reasons that I just mentioned. I need authentication, and it's much easier to just bring in the starter kit and it's already there for you. I'm going to use the Livewire flavor for it. It comes with just Vault, and you can choose between the class-based Vault or API-based Vault. I'm going to use class-based. I like that one better. I wish that there was a version of this Breeze installation without Vault, and I'm not complaining at all. Vault is awesome, but it's going to create a mix of things in my project because right now I'm using Livewire with just class and views, and I'm not using Vault. But once I do this, then all the authentication side of the project is going to be on class-based Vault components. So it might be it might create a mix of things, which is not terrible. But that's not the first thing that we're going to do today. First, we are going to test Livewire dispatched events. So testing events, dispatching events, and listening to those events, making sure that those dispatched events work as intended. And we're going to do that first by making sure that once we finish watching an episode, then we are automatically redirected to the next episode. Last week, we kind of laid the foundation for this to work when we introduced the sort column. And that is going to help us make this a lot easier. Once we finish that, then we will move on to protecting our routes in behind authentication. Starting with just the watch episode page, we can move on to the next one, to the show course page in a later episode if we have time, or today, again, if we have time. We're going to protect those routes behind authentication. Then we're going to only allow users that own the course to watch the episodes of that course. So you're not allowed to just go into a course or into an episode directly if you don't own that episode's course. And then finally, we are going to make sure that once the episode ends, not only redirect to the next episode, but marking that current episode as watched, so that the user has like a library of watched episodes, basically. And we also laid the foundation for that last week when we created the tests for the relationship in the user model. Okay, enough talking. Let's get to work. Let's get to this test first. Moving to VS Code, and I'm in the watch episode test.php file. And in here, let's create another test. And let's call it redirects to next episode after video ends. How's everyone's week going so far? I hope you're having a good week. We're in the middle of it, like hump day as they call it. So we're just sliding into the weekend in a couple of days. So here, what do we need to set up? I need to set up a course again. If I need to move out, if I need to redirect to the next one, I need at least two episodes. So let me go grab one of these settings here. Maybe this one. So let me grab all of this. Just put it here and then we'll modify it as we see fit. So we're creating a course for for an instructor. It has 2 episodes, correct sorting order, and then create. We don't need users so far, so that's good. Do I need to pass the episode here? I don't think I have, because I've already tested that if I don't provide an episode, then the first one is going to be the one playing, and I can just assert that once the event fires, the episode ended event, once that fires, I can just make sure that the second episode overview is in the screen. So for this, first of all, let's assert that we can see the first episode overview. We can use this here. And then we are going to use dispatch. And this is how we dispatch events in PEST for Livewire. And the event name was called episode ended. And if you're not sure about what I'm talking about, go back and watch the last week's live stream where we set up all of these. Almost at the end, we set up the event and how it fires, and how firing an event in one component, it's going to, we can fire an event in one component and then listen to that event in a completely different component anywhere else. So go watch that if you are a little bit lost, but later. For now, stay here. So once we dispatch this, then we can assert that we see the second episode overview. So this is going to change the state of the component, and we can assert that that change has happened. Looks good, I think. Oh no, wait. This dispatched event. So here it is. Let me show you the listener, because the listener will tell us, will inform the test. So this is in watch episode. So as you can see, we are expecting some data with the event, and in this case is the episode that just ended. So in order to test it, and in fact, let me just remove this DD here because we don't want this. This is from last week. So here, when we dispatch the event, we need to pass that data as well. So I think this is a key value. Is it a key value or just the data? Let me go check real quick. I forget. So we're looking for events and testing. Testing dispatch events. No, dispatch is not telling me. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let me try it. Let's just try it with passing just the data, I guess. No, let's do this. Let's say course. No, not course, episode. I'm almost positively sure that this is a key value pair thing. So episode will be, if we have the course already, we know that we have only 2. So I'm going to say episodes. And then I'm going to say last. There's only 2, and the last one is the one that I am expecting to see, which is the second one. So yeah, let's do that. If this fails, then it's possibly just passing this parameter without an array. Okay, let's test this and see how it goes. Oh, before I do that, well, too late, I guess. Yeah, no, I was going to test everything, make sure that everything runs, but we can do that after the fact. So let's just run this. Array to string conversion. There you go. Yeah. Yep. No. See, I knew it. Do I have to pass the ID instead? Oh, it's the ID, I think. So I have to pass the ID of the episode, but in this case, I'm going to do get route key instead. The reason I'm doing this, instead of just passing ID, the property ID, in the future, I want to switch from using IDs for implicit model binding, and I want to switch to slugs or something else, which is more. It looks better on the URL, and if I switch that, and then I have a bunch of routes and other things using the ID itself is going to break. So by using the route key, get route key is going to bring the key that is used for implicit model binding that is configured on that model, whether it's ID, whether it's log, UUID, whatever. So it guarantees that it's not going to break in the future. All right, let's see with this. Run it again. Okay, so that's the error that I was expecting. It passed the first assertion, which was to see the first episode overview. But then after after dispatching the event, the second assertion is failing, which is I want to see the second episode overview. Okay, so now it's time to go back to watch episode and add the logic for moving to the next one. How do we do this? We have the episode here. And what we have to do is... Ooh, I see some hearts flying already. Hi, how you doing? Say hi in the chat so I know who you are. So what we have to do here in order to change the state of this component is to set the value of... Hi, Bugar, how you doing? Thank you for joining. I'm doing great. How are you? How is your day going? I forget you. It's very early for you right now, right? I don't remember if it's early Thursday or I don't know. So we have to do this current episode If we set this value, then the state of the component is going to change. But what do we set it to? We need to find the next episode. So let's do episode. I think there is a function that is called find where. Find where, and the difference between using find where the difference between find where and where is that when you use where condition and then get, that gives you a collection. But using find where, it's just like using find without the ID, in that it gives you a single value. Like in this case, it's going to be an instance of the episode class. So find where, and if I remember correctly, why is this not giving me any type hinting? So it should be the column, which is sort. And what I'm looking is episode sort +1. Yeah, I think so. Because this is a current episode that just ended. So if that episode sort is 1, which is the first one, then it's going to look for the sort number 2, which is the second episode. And that's going to be assigned to the current episode. And that's going to trigger the reactivity and make the component update. What happens if we are in the second one? I guess we can add another test case just to make sure that when we are in the last episode and we want to move to the next, we should probably just stay on the last episode. There would be other things that can happen, like informing the user, like maybe a model saying, congratulations, you just finished the course. But for now, it would be just staying in the current episode when it's the last one. But yeah, we'll add another test for that. So this should be enough. Let's see if it works. Run the test again. Oh, there's no find where. Okay, then I'm thinking about something different. Let me go check the documentation. I was pretty sure there was a function in Laravel called find where. Where is it? Where find? Oh no, I think it's first where. Yeah, it's first where. Okay, yeah, so it's first where. Cannot assign null to property app library watch episode, current episode. So it gave me null. Why is that? Am I not getting the right value here in episode? Yeah, I'm actually getting that. Well, wait. Why is it giving me the sort 2? So I'm getting an episode, but the episode ID is 2. So it's giving me the second one. Why is that? Did I do last? I did last, didn't I? That's so dumb. It was a test. It was my test. I'm dumb. Should have done first here. I'm pretty sure you already saw that, in which I can hear the screaming in the background. Didn't know what it was, but there it is. So yeah, I was passing the second episode when dispatching the episode ended. Should have been the current episode, the first one, which is the one that is playing. Okay. I hope this is... yeah, there you go. Perfect. Okay, so now we can move episode to episode automatically. As soon as the one episode ends, it moves to the next one and to the next one. Now let's add the catch where the episode that is playing and that is finishing is the last one. So we want to stay in the current episode when that happens. I'm gonna copy all of this actually. It stays, let's call it, it stays in the current episode after it ends, the video ends, and it is the last one. I think it stays in the current episode after video ends, and it is the last one. I think this is more, I don't know, sounds better to me. Stays in the last episode after video ends. Right? Okay, so for this, let's just, yeah, same, 2 episodes, but this time I'm going to provide, wait. Yeah, I'm going to pass in the second episode as a parameter. Episode. Copy this. Paste it here. Now I do want the last one. So we are in the last episode, and then we can see the second episode on the screen. We could just waive this first test and just immediately just dispatch the second, the episode ended, pass in the last one again. And then just making sure that the second episode is still playing. Or we are not getting redirected to the next one. I think so. Let's try it out. Oh, it's gonna... Okay. I'm trying to get ahead of the error in my head, but let's just wait. Let's let the test guide you. Okay. Yeah, cannot assign null to property because the first where operation is giving us a null value, and we cannot assign a null value to that property. So now we can go and fix it. Watch episode, and I should be able to just get by with a ternary with this. And if the left side of this gives me null, then it uses the right side. And if that's the case, then we just stay in the current episode. Or just episode. Which is the same thing. Right? Yeah, I think so. Okay, let's give it a shot. Yay, perfect. Sorry. Okay, we're doing great. Time-wise. 25 minutes, there you go. Let's go and mark this thing is done. Why are you, okay. We're redirecting to the next episode after it ends. We have a check for when it's the last episode, and now comes the part that I didn't want to do. Not that I didn't want to do, is that I'm worried. I'm just worried. So let's go up a little bit, and now let's install Laravel Breeze, and let's see how that affects an existing project that is running Livewire and Filament. So for that, I'm going to go to the documentation again. Let me look for Breeze. Laravel Breeze starter kit. Yada, yada, yada. Installation. Here we go. So we need the composer, require Laravel Breeze. You know what's going to help us a lot? The fact that we are working on a GitHub repo. That way I can easily see what changed in all of the files. Remember, I had a plan, and I still do. So composer required Laravel Breeze --dev. Let's give it a minute. Ooh, it's doing. I saw a Livewire bump down. Is that the case? Hold on, let me check. Downgrading. Why are you downgrading from 3.4 to 3.2? I don't. Removing Livewire volt. See, I'm gonna have to fix a couple of those things. Don't like it that it's going back in time. With Livewire, with test. We'll see. All right. What's next? We have to do Breeze install. We don't have to do PHP artisan migrate. That's already done. We don't have to install npm. That's already done. This one is done as well. Oh, we might have to do this again though. You see why in a minute. So let's just copy this. Clear the screen and paste. Now this is going to give me the choice of what starter kit I want. And as I said before, the one that I want is Livewire with class API. I mean, functional API is cool, but I'm still getting wrapping my head around it a little bit. So I don't want it to be too distracting. This one is still class based. So even though you still have the template and the class in the same file, you still it still resembles the regular Livewire. So let's choose that one. Would you like dark mode support? Yeah, sure, why not? I'm using pest. Oh, you're going to change stuff, aren't you? Composer.json has been updated, created a bunch of files. Upgrading pest again. Bunch of stuff. We'll see. Come on. See, it's doing is recompiling my local assets, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to let IntelliFence re-index, and then we're going to check what happened to our project. So I'm going to close the terminal, and in Visual Studio Code, if you didn't know, you get GitHub integration with a plugin, so I can see all of the files that that changed here. To get this up, by the way, I did Shift Control G in Windows, and I'm guessing it's Shift Command G in Mac. And starting with the composer.json, this I don't like. Let's see what happened here. So, well, it's a Livewire and Vault. Guess it added those two, but it's using 3.0. We're already, well, no, I'm thinking about Filament. Filament is in 3.2 already. So and that's another thing. We're using 3.0 for the info lists, which is fine. Okay, that's good. And it added Laravel Breeze here. I think it's okay. So it didn't change much on the composer.json. I'm okay with those changes. Let me close a few files here. What else? So this one I'm good. Composer.log, sure. I should ignore that one too. Close that. Package log, that's no. Well, hold on. I'm gonna on stage package.log. Well, Composer is fine. Is the npm thing that it did? That's what I don't like. So I'm gonna check package.json and see what happened. See, it downgraded autoprefixer from 10.4.7 to 10.4.2. I don't want you to do that. So let's undo this. What? 0.7. Just leave it like that. Hi, Hamad. How you doing? Thank you for joining me. How is your day? Let's see. What else? So PostCSS went from 8.4.14 to 8.4.31. That one's fine. It's like a bump up. And Tailwind CSS went from 3.1 to 3.1.0. That's fine. Okay, I'm good with this. Let's see what else. I'm gonna keep this package.json, but I'm gonna leave out package-log.json because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to recompile. So, because look, PostCSS, for example, well, now you're just being picky. Semicolon at the end, let me remove that. Nitpicking. There is a tailwind.config.json file. There's a change here. Oh, this is a lot. Okay, what happened? First of all, it took away my preset from Filament, and that's bad because that's going to completely wipe out the styling for Filament. So I don't want that. So I'm going to take this from this side and just put it where it was, up here. So I want to keep my preset, my Filament preset for styling. It added the Tailwind CSS default theme. I'm okay with that. Then import the forms component, the forms plugin, and added this line here. That's okay. Now it changed a bunch of content lines and removed the Filament and Livewire ones, so I don't want that. Get that back where it was, so that doesn't change. It added a couple for Laravel framework source illuminate for pagination purposes, I guess, and storage framework views as well. I'm okay with those, but I'm not okay with you removing the Filament line. So take this, keep it where it was. So the only thing that I want there is the additions. I don't want anything from Filament to be removed. This theme, I don't know, it's just changed the font family, but I'm concerned. No, that's all right. Let's keep the theme and the plugin. I don't think that's going to cause any problems. And if it does, it's because if I extend the theme, it might conflict with any things that have been done in the preset. So if anything looks weird, this is the first thing that I'm going to remove. Okay, tailwind.config.js, done. vite.config.js, what did you do? Oh, come on. Again, with the nitpicking. They're not needed and they're confusing. Well, what did you do here? Oh, it removed the refresh paths. Don't do that. Leave that alone, and it just reformatted the input array, which is fine. But then the refresh completely changed just to true, which I'm not a fan of. So let's just leave it as it was. Like so. And then again, stop it. So yeah, the only change here is the reformatting of this array, which is fine. Close this. V is done. And then it's a bunch of PHP files. So at this point, I'm going to, since I changed a bunch of stuff in tailwind.config.js and vite, I suppose we have to recompile. So let's do that. Run, build for now. Okay. Should we check the styles? Yeah, I'd rather make sure that everything looks as it should. So for that, let's just, there hasn't been any changes to the database, but still, let's just, for sanity's sake, let's do PHP artisan migrate fresh, and then db seed class course seeder. Let's run PHP artisan serve. And let's check this on the browser real quick. Not found. Did you change my routes? You changed my routes, didn't you? Hey Adamir, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. I hope you're doing well and you are having a great day today. Yeah, I think there has been some changes on my routes file. Let me look for web.php somewhere. Yeah, there you go. Wow, you just wiped everything. So first thing, I need those classes, please. I need those back. Thank you. I need my routes back. And I need this one too. I mean, root. I have this one, and I have a bunch more for authentication and the dashboard, etc., etc. So that can stay there. I'm okay with that. Save and go back to the browser and refresh. So there is, it's using dark mode, which I don't, well, problem is that the classes are using dark mode by default, whatever the system is using, but the background is not. So let's go back to class-based, just so it's not that jarring. And we can do that in tailwind.config.js, and let's do dark mode class. And since it's not running, it be that server, which I'm going to do now. The change did not reflect bun run dev. Okay, better. I apologize for the blast of white, but I don't want any that contrast between the background and the foreground is just bothering me. So everything looks fine. See the watch episode. Yep, everything's good. Everything looks fine. We have breeze, which means that we can also go to login. So we have a login page, looks great. And we also have a register page, looks great. And this is going to aid us into when we get to testing the authentication in the browser. This is going to be very useful. But for now that we have authentication, we can, I guess it wasn't really a requirement, but it's good to have it. We can go and test this. We can now only show episodes to authenticated users. I guess it was a requirement because if you're not authenticated and you want to reach the watch episode page in this case, you're going back to the login page. So yeah, let's work on that. No, wait. Wait a second. I guess it's fine. Here's the thing. When all of this happened, you see a bunch of components that were created here. Let's say, for example, the login form. No, the login page. Where is it? Let's actually look at it in the files. Resources, views, components, Livewire, pages, login. So this process created its own layout files. Right now, our components are using the layout file inside components, layouts. No, that's not the one. Wait a second. Okay, so yeah, our components are using this layer here inside components, layouts, app.blade.php, because this one has the filament styles and it's using this format, right? But all of the components that were created, for example, for the login page, first of all, this is a vault component, meaning that the component lives in the same file as the template. But for the layout, is using the files inside resources, views, layouts, app, and guest. This doesn't have any filament. I guess that might be a problem later on when we try to Well, I guess not. I mean, when we get to the part where we add more to the UI, for example, a nav bar at the top, I'm not sure. Well, you should. We should use all of the components that Breeze provide. Either that, or we just go and find new ones. But just so you know, there is new layouts file, and those layout files are exclusively used by Breeze, and they are in layouts app for everything that is password protected, and layout guest for all of the login and reset password and register views. All of those use the guest plate. Just so that there is no confusion, because you might see this layout here and then think that that's the layout that we're using, and it's not. So for now, I'm gonna just leave them there because they're not in the way. But as soon as we start seeing a convergence of those, I might just get rid of one and just use one layout file in a single location. But for now, it can stay like that. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, the test. Sorry. That was a long tangent. Okay, so watch episode test. Oh, actually, this is a route test. So it only showed episodes to authenticated users. So let's add a new test here. So this is a test for the courses episodes show route. So we can use the same setting from this one. Paste it here. We have a course for a user, an instructor, has an episode. I don't really care about the state of that episode. And then create. And then we are going to get that route. And instead of asserting that everything went okay, in this case, I am expecting this to fail. I need this to redirect to login because we are going to protect this route with authentication. So instead of assert okay, let's assert redirect to route login. I don't really need to pass the episode here. All right, let's see. This is going to fail, obviously. Expected response status code 201, 301, 302, all of these are redirect responses, but instead we got 200. So now we have to redirect. So the good thing is that this is very simple. We just need to go to the web.php file and then add middleware to this route here. Just like this, actually. Middleware auth or auth. Is it auth? Auth. Middleware auth. And that pretty much protects this route and puts it behind authentication. So if I run the test now, should be green. All right. Good news is this one passes. Bad news is previous one will not. Because if we run, let's actually run all of the tests, see what broke. I can stop this one, right? So if we do pass, actually, let me just remove this one and get to this screen here. Just one terminal. So let's do pest, and yeah, bunch of things are already broken. And let's fix this one by one. It has a route for the watch episode page with optional episode parameter. I was expecting this to fail because now we are expecting a 200 response, but we're getting a redirect instead. Meaning that in order to access that route on that test, we have to log in, or at least simulate a login in the test. So for that, I'm going to go back to this test. And let's do acting as. And let's do user factory create. This is a function that gets imported here. So this is from pest Laravel acting as, and we'll set the currently logged in user for this test as a new user. Doesn't matter who, what user. We're not testing the ownership of the course. We're just testing that you have to be logged in to get to the episode. So save that and run. Do we run everything again? No, let's just run this one. All right, that one's passing. Let's see what else. The course test and the user test are failing. I don't know why. Everything else is good. So course test. Oh yeah. Okay, I know why now. This call to member function connection on no. If you don't remember, we made an adjustment to the pest.php file because we are using database connection on our unit tests, or at least the tests that are in the unit folder. But I'm pretty sure that changed on this when we installed Breeze. So let's open. In fact, let's just Shift Control G again, and let's look for, here it is, pest.php. It added these two lines at the top, which were not there, which is fine. We were just referencing them from here. That's okay. But see how this changed. It used to be feature and unit, and now it went back to just feature. So I'm okay with the styling and format of the page, but do not remove unit from here. So now it looks like this. We are using the base test case class and the refresh database class in both the feature and unit folders. And we need that for the functionality of the model testing that we were doing. All right, so that should take care of everything, I guess. Let me clear this and pest green. Give me green. Come on. 47 passed. You notice also that the amount of tests increased a lot, and that's just because Breeze has its own suite of test files. Everything authentication related has a bunch of test cases, like email verification, authentication, password confirmation, password reset, password update, and registration. So yeah, we have now 47 tests, but they are all passing. So now we we have protected the watch episode page, which is good. But the next thing we need to do is to make sure that whoever is watching the episode, it's the owner of the course. Let me mark this. Now, there is something in this part that I need to address. So when I was doing research for this episode, I was referencing the documentation from Livewire, specifically the, what was it? Is it testing or events? Let me see. No, it's in security, sorry. Security, where is it? Security. Let me just find the line that I need to explain, and then I'll tell you what happened. Routing, applying global, applying configuration, authority. Here. So what I want to do is, instead of having logic in the component itself to protect against people that are not owners of the course, what I want to do is use Laravel's policies, which moves the responsibility of who can view, who can edit, who can do anything to this course, for example. So I want to use policies and say that the only person that can watch an episode is someone who is authorized to view the course. So that'll take some burden out of the component and just leave it on Laravel's. But in the documentation, it states that you can apply the policy to the route directly using middleware. And that applies to routes that are using full page component class. This doesn't work. And I went on a very long scavenging hunt just to figure out why. And according to a user on the Livewire Discord server, the way that implicit model binding works in Livewire, it's causing it causes a conflict with Laravel's implicit model binding, causing it to not recognize the model that we want to have here as, well, bound, implicitly bound. So it ends up just not using the policy at all and giving you a forbidden response, no matter what you do. You have the policy is in the right place, is named correctly, but if you use the policy in the middleware or on the route, it doesn't work. What you have to do instead is, from the component, use this authorize, and that will work. It would have been nice to use the route protection, because according to their own documentation, that will reapply the permissions or reapply the security or the measures on every request. So if, for example, you load the component, and this is done in the I need to do this in the mount, for example. I need to do this authorization in the mount here, and not in, because this is this is not about who can delete, who can create. It's about who can just mount this component, who can see the data here. So I need to do it in the mount, but the mount runs only once per component. So every subsequent request, there will be no checking of that policy. It would be if it was in the route, but not if it's in the mount. there's probably a way for me to do that on every request. I haven't looked into it. It was late and I was tired. So I probably have to look for ways for me to authorize every request. But for now, I'll just use authorize to apply the policy to the component when it mounts. It may be a security risk, but that's all I got for now. We are running into the hour, but I do want to create a policy, and I just want to, so we're going to go a little bit later today, a little bit more late. So let's work on that. So the test is, it only shows episodes from owned courses. And since this is not a route test, we are going to do it in the watch episode test file. Okay, so the setting should be very simple. I don't even, let's just copy this setting here. So we have a course for an instructor that has an episode. I don't even need more than one. So let's just create one episode, and I don't care about the sequence or state or anything else. So just factory. But I also need a user. So user equals user factory create. So once I have the course, I'm going to say user courses. We have this relationship already and we tested it. I'm going to attach that course to this user. No, actually, well, yeah, but I'm going to create another user, which is going to be a stranger. And that stranger does not have ownership of any course. So what I can do then is I'm going to do this livewire test, all this line here. Watch episode, we provide the course. I don't care about the episode, so let's remove that. But I am going to be acting as stranger, and then I'm going to test the component. And what I'm expecting to happen is I am, let's see, assert, we can use assert forbidden. So basically I'm logging as a stranger or as a user that does not have ownership of the current course that I'm providing to the component. And I expect that component to say, nope, stay there. You're not allowed to watch this episode. This will be taken care of with the assert forbidden assertion. So let's see. Hi, Digit. How you doing? Good morning to you as well. I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Let's see. So, yeah, this is going to fail because it's going to allow me to go into it. Let's see what happens. Let's run it. Method. What? There's no attach. Oh, did I do it in the collection? Yeah. Or you have to do it as a function here. Try that again. Okay, that's what I was expecting. Expected response status code 403. but received 200. 403, forbidden. So now we have to protect the resource or the model. So for that, I'm going to use, first of all, I'm going to say in the watch episode component, like I mentioned before, go to watch episode. In the mount, first thing I'm going to do is say this authorize. The first parameter is the ability, which is view, and the second is the argument. So what I want to pass here is, do I need to use an array? I guess so. This will be the course. I'm guessing we can just do that. Maybe? Nah, let's be safe and use an array. So what I'm saying here is make sure that the currently logged in user is authorized to view this model or this model instance. That should return forbidden if there is a policy that checks for the permissions. I don't know if it's going to fail right away because there is no policy, but we'll see. I guess I'm doing the wrong testing though. Hold on. Guess that's a better phrasing. It forbids. Forbids showing episodes to users that do not own the course. And again, I'm guessing it's going to no test found. Are you kidding me? This one. Oh, because I changed the name. Doesn't remember. Okay, cool. See, it's passing, but only because I don't have a policy. So if you don't have a policy and you try to authorize the resource or the model, is going to automatically say, no, I can't, I don't know, there is nothing forbidden. Now we need a test to make sure that if you own the course, you are able to see it. But I guess that's going to, what we can do instead is just test everything again, and everything is going to be broken at this point. So we'll have to fix it. Well, not everything, apparently. Something's got to break. I'm using authorize. There you go. So what is it? Probably everything in the watch episode test. Yes. Everything but the last one. Because all of these tests require a logged in user, and it requires a policy to allow the user who owns the course to view to watch the episode. So now we have some work cut out for us. You know what? Let's do this. No, forget it. I was thinking about maybe you guys should do it and we can see it next week, but no, let's just do it right now. It's not that big of a deal. So let me clear this and let's create a policy for this course model. So PHP artisan make policy, and let's call it course policy. So if you want the policies to be auto-discoverable, that means that you don't have to do anything else but to create the policy and then add the methods to it. Just name it with the word policy at the end, and the first word is the same name as the model you want this policy to be applied to. That way you don't have to register the policy, you don't have to worry about Laravel discovering it. If it's named correctly, everything just works. It has to be in a folder. It has to be either in a folder called app policies, or I think in a folder called app models policies. If the class is in those two places, then Laravel will take care of discovering it for you. So we have a policy, but now we need to allow the user to view the course if it's the owner. So let's open that policy. Let's add one method called public function view. And this will take two parameters. The first one is the currently logged in user. And the second one is the model that you are trying to authorize. So in this case will be course. So how do we authorize? Basically, we can say we have to return a Boolean, by the way. So this will be true or false depending on whether you can view or you can't view the resource. So let's do return user courses, and we can use the collection method contains course. If you remember, this is a many-to-many relationship. So as long as the list of courses that the user owns contains the course that we are trying to authorize, then this will return true, meaning that the user can view the course. Now, this is just not enough because every test in this file needs a login user now. And because I'm creating the course on every file, then I think it's going to be easier just to do this. The same thing that I did here. Create a user. I'm going to do that on every single test. And I need to also attach the course to this user. So let's try this out. Just with this one, making sure that it doesn't fail. If it doesn't fail, then we will do the same thing for all of the test cases in this file. So save, run this one only. Failed asserting that 2.0 is identical is still. Still not giving me the right response. Watch episode. Oh, no, wait. I don't have it in the route. Do I? No, I don't. What are you doing? What's happening? I have the policy. I'm using this authorize view in this course. Am I missing something? Well, pretty much the whole starting of the thing, but yeah, I'm trying to make sure that I'm trying to use a policy on a course so that the user that is currently logged in can, that's acting as, sorry, I lost the thread, but basically in this render successfully, the user has to be logged in and the user has to own the course in order to watch the episode. And I'm using a policy for it. And when I do this authorize, which I lost the line in the watch episode component, and I'm using this authorize view and course, and that should work. But in order for that to work in the test, I need to log in as this user. So I need to do acting as user and then test. Try again. Good. So that works. So I need to do that same thing to all of the test cases. I'm not going to do it here because it's kind of tedious, but you basically have to create a user, add the course, attach the course to the user, then logging as that user for every test case in this file. So I'm going to do it off camera so that I don't bore you with all of the coding, and you can, as practice, you can do it yourselves and then make sure that all of the test cases in this watch episode test are passing. And then next week, we are going to move to the next test, the last test here, which is marking episodes as watched after the video ends. That's going to be actually pretty easy. And you can try and get this test to pass on your own if you want to do some practice, and then you can compare the solution next week. Now, last thing I wanted to mention today is I'm thinking about moving the video player to a different component. The component I'm talking about is called player. I'm going to call it player. So player, this component here, looks like this. The nice thing about this is that it looks kind of good, and it offers the ability to not only use your own files, which we're not going to do, but it also offers the ability to embed not only Vimeo videos, but also YouTube videos. Like this, for example, here. For YouTube videos, you can either use the iframe, or even better, you can just use a div, pass the provider as YouTube, and then just use the YouTube ID. Same thing with Vimeo. You can pass the provider as Vimeo and then use the Vimeo ID. So that gives us the ability to have videos both on Vimeo or on YouTube. So I think that's a very good feature. This also comes with all of the events that I need. So next week, we're going to do a little bit of a rework, And instead of using the Vimeo embedded file directly, we're going to switch it up to this player component. And that's going to be a good lesson in testing, because we are going to make the we're going to make the change first, and then we're going to run the tests and see what breaks. Obviously, some things will break, and we're going to let the tests inform how to fix the breaking change that we just did. So that's a very common practice. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If any of this you found helpful, don't forget to leave me a like. It's free and it really helps. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next live stream. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.